This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about Nakobe Dean having a flawless day. Cooper DeJean starting to get his feet wet, and he lit up Britton Covey, but Britton Covey held on to the ball. And we just going to talk about the camp notes, but let's get straight into it. All right, so before we get straight into it, I want to play a clip by Vic Fangio, and this is why, as a fan, I love Vic Fangio because he always keep it a buck. He always keep it real. But let me play this clip.
Josh Joe played some meaningful snaps on defense last season. What have you seen from them, and where do they stand in terms of development?
I think they're both improving. I think Eli's been doing a nice job. Josh has been getting good reps in there. We've got to cut down on his penalties. He's had a habit of being involved in too many PIs or holding calls. We got to get that rectified with him. But I do think both guys are working hard and improving, yes.
Why did
You see how he called out Josh Jobe? You need that. You need that. I mean, could he have done it in private? Sure. But as a content creator and as a fan, I love that he bring everything to the front. Like, yeah, he could have been like, yeah, Josh Jobe was having a good day or a good camp developing. Like, he like, nah, he got to work on the penalties. And what Eagles fans been saying about Josh Jobe for the longest. Like, he can be good, but he's too handsy. He's way too handsy, and it causes a lot of penalties. And it seemed like he never fits that part of his game since he been with the Philadelphia Eagles. Because I looked at Josh Jobe as a long-term guy, but he just never got that part right. And hopefully he fits it, because if not, he's either going to find himself on the practice squad or another team. He got to get that right. And I like what he said about Eli Ricks, too. Like, Eli Ricks is developing. He's one we definitely got to keep in the stash. You know, I love Eli Ricks. Hell, I still think he should make the team, but we so loaded. I don't see how it's gonna happen, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I love Eli. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts too. Jalen Hurts during the joint practice, he got into it with Jabril Peppers, man. Let me play this clip.
The last play.
I'm taking that lead.
Yo, I slowed down.
I'm taking the lead.
I slowed down. You know what happened last?
I ain't know.
You good, Kim? You good, Kim?
Bro. That's the first time I had been hit. Years so when you hit me, I'm like, damn, I ain't even practicing yet.
I like it. I like QB1 talking like, yeah, you got that hit. You got that. No, I haven't been hit all camp. I love to see it. I personally love to see it. I like when the QB1 talking smack to the opponents. Jabril Peppers trying to flex his muscles. I mean, shout out to Jabril Peppers. So he brung it. I mean, he definitely brung it during the joint practice. He was hard hitting for sure. He was all over the field. So, and I got love for Jabril Peppers because he's from North Jersey. You already know I gotta love my guys from North Jersey, man. I love my North Jersey people that make it to the league, man. So shout out to Jabril Peppers. But let's get into these camp notes and let's talk about how this defense just dominated the offense. Yes, I'm calling it out now. So we got the injury report. All right, Gabe Hall still dealing with that hamstring. Matt Hennessy back. EJ Jenkins knee. Joseph Nagata ankle. Alberto abdomen. Caden Stearns knee. Lane Johnson rest day. And Mauro Jamo hip, John Ross concussion, Tyler Steen ankle, and Johnny Wilson concussion. Did not practice, but the guys that were limited were Oren Burks, Grant Calcaterra, CJ GJ, and Cooper DeJean. But I want to harp on Lane Johnson a little bit. At some point, we got to find this replacement. So I was watching my guy Philly Mike live stream, and he brought up a good point. We seen Jason Peters leave. We see Jason Kelsey leaving. We seen Brandon Brooks leave. Like, we seen some really good guys leave. And it feel like the O-line will be fine, right? But it's just something about when Lane Johnson got to miss a game, whatever. We just don't look good. Eagles really have to take it serious finding a replacement. They really do, because anytime, we all know the infamous record, won about like 89 games or something like that. We got an extremely positive record when Lane Johnson is playing. But when he don't play, we were like 14-22. Like, we just can't win games without him. And if we do, it's a struggle, it's a fight. And the offensive line just tear down. And mind you, this is not a left tackle. This is your right tackle. And when your right tackle go down, your team just don't look the same. I'm telling you, man, we got to take that position serious. We really, really do. Got to take it serious. But all right, so let's talk about the camp notes, man. The starting linebackers. I thought this was going to change, but I'm gonna just announce it anyway. It was Zach Bond and Devin White. And Vic Fangio says something about the linebackers that really stood out to me. But let me play this clip.
Linebackers typically not a rotational position. Do you want to find two guys, or are you open if you know guys deserve a little bit of playing time? Are you open to a rotation?
Yeah, we're open to that. I do think you're better off with, a set group because sometimes it's hard to get guys in and out. You don't want to have to sub to do stuff. But either way, I've done it both ways.
Were you able to get a better?
What he's basically saying, if you're not starting, you barely gonna see play time. That's what I heard with my ears, because it sounded like I think that was John McMullen trying to allude to, like, would you be rotating the linebackers? It sounded like, yeah, I'm open to it, but I really like to just play my two guys, the starters. And Nakobe Dean went off. Nakobe Dean went off this practice. You want to tackle for a loss? I got you. Nearly caught the first pick against Jalen Hurts. Lit up Will Shipley again. The Price guy, Davis Price, lit him up. PBU against Devontae Smith. Whatever positive stat you can name on the defensive side of the ball, he did. Got a sack. He did everything. There was even reports out saying, like, yo, this might have been the best practice from an Eagles linebacker in a long time. Nakobe Dean went insane. He went crazy. So Nakobe Dean, he wanted to start. He's coming alive at the right time. If there was any time to start heating up going into the season, is right now. We got 19 days. It's right now. So it's good that Nakobe Dean is heating up. Again, whatever you can name a positive stat, what a linebacker can do, he did that. Except catch an interception. And he almost caught that. Nakobe Dean keeps shining, man. He's looking like the best linebacker on the team. He definitely is. I told you, I could be super hard with criticism, but when you playing ball, Eagle Owl got to salute you. I got to salute you. So, Nakobe Dean, keep doing you. Fred Johnson was the next guy up with Lane Johnson resting. So, he was the right tackle, and he was getting abused. Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat just had a field day. And I love Fred Johnson. I think Fred Johnson is a decent backup. But when it's Bryce Huff, when it's Josh Sweat, can't do it. Multiple sacks by the D-line. I mentioned Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, Thomas Booker. I know you guys keep saying, you got to mention him, Eagle Owl. He's doing it. Salute him. I got to salute him. He's been doing this thing preseason, training camp. He's been one of those really silent good guys. So, Booker, keep doing you. Keep doing you. You're balling out your mind. But Brandon Graham, couldn't stop him. He's getting multiple sacks. Jalen Carter getting tackles for loss. I think he got a sack. Like, the D-line had a field day. And to be fair, too, not only Lane Johnson was out, but he was out resting. Landon Dickerson and McKee Becton got hurt, too. I think McKee Becton actually left practice for the whole day. That's not good with a guy that got an injury history. And then you got Tyler Steen with the ankle. I wouldn't be mad. If we actually gave Keegan a shot. Just give him a shot at right guard, see what he can do. I honestly think he should be in the competition right now. See what he can do. I like Becton, but for me, it's the injuries. Y'all know I like Becton. When he first signed, I'm like, yeah, he's that dude. He got to play guard. He definitely got to play guard. He's too good to be on the bench. And I think the Eagles coaching staff seen the same thing. But His knock right now is injuries. I don't know if I could rely on him. I really don't. So Keegan should, be the next guy up right there. I think they brought in Toff, and y'all know how I feel about Toff now. Getting abused. He was getting abused, man. And the offense just had a hard day. Hard day with the defensive line. It was blitzes. Couldn't really stop the blitz. Then the D line was just eating. But these corners also did a good job. I mean, Quinyon had PBUs. I think he stuck. Devontae Smith was stride for stride with him, got a PBU. But then it was one play where Devontae Smith just had a step on him. And it was a great catch by Devontae Smith, just beating Quinyon Mitchell. So Quinyon Mitchell had a decent day for sure. It's good to hear his name. Tanner McKee. I gotta mention Tanner McKee. So Tanner McKee started getting some reps with the second team. He didn't look too good, but mind you, this is what an injured offensive line. I mean, I think he threw a pick. I actually think Cooper DeJean picked them off, or Cooper DeJean picked off Kenny Pickett. He picked off one of them. No, I'm sorry, scratch that. I mean, you actually keep that in there because Eagle Owl made mistakes. It was VanSumeren that picked off Tanner McKee. It wasn't Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean nearly picked off Kenny Pickett, which is good to hear. Cooper DeJean making plays. But it was VanSumeren, the unsung hero, the guy that's been balling out his mind too. But he just deep in the roster. You got Devin White, you got Zach Bond, and Nakobe Dean. It's hard to put VanSumeren, but I think VanSumeren, to give him a couple years, I think he could be the TJ Edwards of our team. But we got to work him. We got to keep him on the roster. Don't do what you did with Christian Ellis. Keep him on the roster some way, somehow. But VanSumeren is balling. Let's keep it on Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean got a lot of reps, if not all his reps in the nickel. It's safe to say he will be the second team nickel. They're not giving him any attempts at safety. I'm not surprised by that. I know a lot of people let him go to safety, but he don't really have any prior experience there at all. Will he be like a James Bradbury or something back there? I don't know. But I think nickel is his calling. And unfortunately, he got hurt, and Quinyon just took the open spot, and he's not letting go that open spot. So Quinyon Mitchell been doing this thing in the nickel. But with the second team, again, Cooper DeJean been doing this thing, nearly picked off Kenny Pickett. And there was one, like Cooper DeJean show, he's a hitter for sure. They had the pads on, of course. Covey caught one. We know Covey take hits for real. And Cooper DeJean lit up Covey, lit him up. Shout out to Covey. He held on to the ball. You can never question Covey toughness. Covey takes some hits, but he will hold on to the ball, man. I think he fumbled like one time that I could remember, and I was pissed off. But Covey would take some hits. So Covey, keep balling. Keep balling, man. I think he was wide receiver 3 today again as well. So it looked like the Eagles are rolling with Covey. We'll see week 1. But Covey, he's been doing this thing and taking a lot of hits too. But he's holding on to that football. And as I mentioned, back to Tanner McKee, threw a pick to Perry Nicholson, our nickel corner, and he took it back for like 98 yards. So I'm assuming this was like a red zone interception. Again, Tanner McKee really struggled with the second team. I can't defend Tanner McKee if they put him with the second team and he's looking bad. I can't defend it. No, Pickett didn't have the best day himself, but if Tanner McKee can't get it right with the second team, I don't know. But again, to be fair, there was a lot of mix and matching on the offensive line. So could that play the role? Possibly. But Tanner McKee always got to be ready for those roles because fans pushing him. He doing his thing. But when you get the opportunity, you got to take advantage, man. You got to. And he was making the case why Kenny Pickett should be QB2 today. So it's a little criticism for Tanner McKee. You got to step it up, man. You definitely got to step it up. Jalen Hurts threw some dimes. He threw a dime to Dallas Goedert, and he also threw a dime to A.J. Brown. I mean, this is nothing new. pressure and all, he's still throwing them dimes. So that's really good to hear. Jalen Hurts is still on his A game for us throwing the ball, but he took a lot of sacks. And again, he almost threw a pick. But Nakobe Dean couldn't haul it in. And he also had, I think it was a little out route to Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley took it for 15 yards in the touchdown. We know how Saquon Barkley is, hard to bring down, hard to catch. So Saquon and that Jalen Hurts connection, I can't wait to see it. And as I mentioned before, VanSumeren having a good day. He even got a sack as well. Continues to ball. Even back on Thomas Booker, man. I mean, he went one-on-ones with Brett Toth and 3-0. 3-0. Thomas Booker been balling out of his mind. Balling. Zach McPherson had a PBU against Kenny Pickett. It was a throw to Austin Watkins, and Zach McPherson was all over it. But that was the last camp note I had of the day. My thoughts on everything is that Nakobe Dean, keep balling. Thomas Booker taking advantage of his opportunities. Quinyon Mitchell doing this thing. And defensive line, keep it up. And offensive line, got to step it up because Lane Johnson is not going to be here forever. Anytime he go down, man, anytime, it don't matter what defensive line it is. We just have an off day. We got to figure out ways to win without him, and again find his next replacement because I can't stomach this no more, man. We are literally crap without Lane Johnson. But hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel about the news today? Everything I talked about for us, the notes, even the beginning with Vic Fangio, Jalen Hurts a little trash talking. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm up.